You watch this video. This was a gentleman riding one of those motorized scooters, and the time was up, so they cut the bike off. So boom, he went down. And you laughed when you first saw it, right? So I laughed, and I was like, ha ha, that's funny. America's Funniest Home Videos. Then I got a little scared and skeptical, and I started thinking, if they can remotely cut off a bike while you ride it and stuff like that happens, what happens if I have an electric car that's connected to satellites and stuff? Could that be cut off? Then I started really thinking. I went down a rabbit hole that I haven't got out of since about 8 a.m. this morning, because then I started thinking, what if I'm using my debit card and they don't want me to use my debit card, and I don't even know who the hell they is, but I go into the store with a grocery buggy full of stuff, and then they cut that off. And everything that's electrical, your AC, they cut that off. Your communication. If you like me and you watch this video, this was a gentleman riding one of those motorized scooters, and the time was up, so they cut the bike off. So boom, he went down. And you laughed when you first saw it, right? So I laughed, and I was like, ha ha, that's funny. America's Funniest Home Videos. Then I got a little scared and skeptical, and I started thinking, if they can remotely cut off a bike while you ride it and stuff like that happens, what happens if I have an electric car that's connected to satellites and stuff? Could that be cut off? Then I started really thinking. I went down a rabbit hole that I haven't got out of since about 8 a.m. this morning, because then I started thinking, what if I'm using my debit card and they don't want me to use my debit card, and I don't even know who the hell they is, but I go into the store with a grocery buggy full of stuff, and then they cut that off. And everything that's electrical, your AC, they cut that off. Your communication. If you like me and you watch.
First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the GMS, who I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect, preaching His word in truth and sincerity, and to you ribs, and to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. Shalom. Right? So, as you saw in the video, you know, the guy made some great points, you know, that we've been bringing up for a long time. We speak about EMPs. You know, the brothers even been talking about this for decades, about the electrical being taken out. But I mean, it's easy to understand when you see that Babylon has a lot of smoke with other nations, and how everything is electrical, right? Everything has to do with our everything functions off of electricity, right? Even gas plants, you know, where they provide gas and oil and all that stuff requires electricity to produce. A lot of the reasons why the cars are being turned electric is because Babylon is losing the war of influence with the other nations, so they are conspiring against Babylon. So Babylon has no other no other alternative but to switch to electric, but also gives them an advantage point because they control much more. Now in my field, I'm not going to say what my field is of work, but I do work with, let's just say, certain appliances, and the government right now is giving people money, cash, a big number, a pretty high number per house, to get rid of their gas, oil, whatever it may be, to switch to electrical, which is not more efficient in cold weathers. Right, we're talking about we're here in the Northeast, and it gets really cold here. So these appliances are to replace more efficient gas components to an electric version. And a lot of customers, after they switch they're regretting it for a lot of reasons. Pretty soon, the whole world is going to be forced to make this move. It's not going to be a choice. You're going to get penalized for even having a gas vehicle. You're probably going to get taxed like crazy. Eventually you're gonna be looked at as an enemy, right? Like we remember the C-19 mandates of the face coverings. You know, people were the ones that didn't want to cover their face was alienated and looked at as an enemy. Pretty much the same thing is gonna be like that. You driving a gas vehicle down the street. You know, they're gonna look at you like you just shot a baby. Which is wild because a lot of the batteries made for these cars take up a lot more greenhouse gases, so to speak, than cars do. If an electric car has gone up in flames, it'd be almost impossible to put out the fire. You know, but you know, this move here will give powers that be full control of the people, because like the man said on the video, which the prophets have been saying for a long time, was that this man wants total and full control of the people. And you know, like China has a social credit score. Pretty soon it's gonna come, that type of social credit score is gonna come here. So you're not even gonna be able to drive your car down the street. They just shut that off while you're, you know, trying to get your baby's medicine, or, you know, trying to pick up your grandma to bring her home. You know, bring your kid back home from school after a snow day. Like, they can shut your thing off at any time. They don't care what time of year it is or what you got going on. You see, making you bend your knee, so to speak, to the powers that be, and that's what they want, man. Total control, man. This all leads to the MOTB. This is what it's all about, man. And we see it more than ever. We see it now. We see it on the news, Congress, all these other things, where you know, Babylon is moving quickly, very quickly. We are right now at a time like no other. Like in the last 10-15 years, from we look at, you know, 10-15 years ago till now, things have really sped up. I remember back in I believe it was 2013, Jade Home was a government program to basically do military exercises in urban areas. You know, at that time, when I saw that happening, I'm like, most definitely this is gonna be the end. You know, we're here, you know, 10 years later, and it's much, much worse than what it was then. The things are coming much more to fruition, much quicker, much more often. Right, this is whitehouse.gov. It says federal government. The federal agencies have already acquired 13,000 light and medium duty zero emissions vehicles, also known as ZEVs, in fiscal year 23. Right, this is this year. About 4 times the number of ZEVs acquired in fiscal year 22. Right, so it's 4 times greater now than it was last year. It says President Biden federal sustainability plan required federal agencies to transition the largest fleet in the world to all electric by acquiring 100% light-duty ZEVs annually by 2027 and acquiring 100% medium and heavy-duty ZEVs annually by the year 2035. Now, this guy thinks that this place is gonna run forever, man. Like, he got all the time in the world. Like, he's making plans, and, you know, how about Shim Yahushai could end this next week? Right, but this is the plan. This is what they want to do. is to get full control of you. And this is where knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of your times. You know, the way you discern what to do, what not to do. I'm not saying don't get yourself, you know, an electric toaster or whatever it may be. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be vigilant and know your enemy and what time we're in, right? Because a lot of these things are put in our faces for alleged comfortability and ease of use, right? To lighten loads of gas prices and all these other things, but there's a much more greater agenda behind all these things. And I ask everybody to just be vigilant and listen to the prophets and apostles of GMS who got the 100% truth. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.